A young black girl named Amara suddenly interrupts the trial by telling Judge Sinclair that she is hungry, surprising everyone. Her mother, Leila, a single mother struggling to make ends meet, stands before a judge to pay an unpaid $250 parking fine she cannot afford. Known for his strict adherence to the law, Judge Sinclair temporarily broke character. With a sympathetic smile, he asked little Amara about her hunger, calming the atmosphere in the courtroom. Leila, clearly embarrassed, tries to explain her situation, juggling multiple jobs to raise her daughter while facing daily challenges as a single mother. As Leila took a deep breath and began to explain her situation, the atmosphere in the courtroom became tense. She recounts her struggles, working 2 jobs, constantly worrying about rent, groceries, and childcare. Every morning, she wakes up early to prepare Amara for school before going to the baking company, where she spends many hours standing, baking, and selling snacks to customers. In the evenings, she took on another job at a local restaurant, working late shifts to earn enough money to support her daughter. 2 jobs leave her exhausted, but she still tries for Amara, determined to give her daughter a stable and happy life. One morning, however, Leila faces a particularly hectic series of events. Amara woke up feeling a bit unwell, sniffling and coughing. Worried about her daughter's health, Leila decided to buy some medicine on the way to school and work. Normally, they would stop for a quick breakfast, but Leila ran after them and hoped to make up the time. She wrapped Amara warmly, grabbed her bag, and hurried out the door, hoping that traffic wouldn't delay them any further. But as luck would have it, every traffic light seemed to be red, and their journey to the pharmacy, usually quick, took longer than expected. When Leila finally arrived, she found that all the parking spaces were occupied. Desperate and running out of time, she noticed an empty parking space near the door, reserved for disabled drivers. Knowing it was against the rules, she hesitated but convinced herself that she would only be there for a minute to get Amara's medicine. She hoped no one would notice. However, what Leila thought would be a quick run turned into a longer wait than she anticipated. The line inside the pharmacy moved slowly, with each person before her taking what seemed like ages to complete their transaction. Leila shifted nervously, looking at the clock as the minutes ticked by, her anxiety growing. Finally, she got the medicine and rushed back to her car, only to find a bright orange envelope under her windshield wiper. Her heart sank. That's a $250 parking ticket. Back in the courtroom, Leila explains to Judge Sinclair that sole decision, although risky, came from necessity. She had no intention of breaking the rules, she told him, but at that moment, her daughter's health became the most important thing. Her voice trembled as she admitted that the fine took up more than half of her weekly shopping budget, an expense she could not afford without sacrificing something essential, like rent or utilities. Judge Sinclair listened attentively, his expression unreadable, as Leila continued to share the challenges she faced every day as a single mother. She talks about the constant balancing act, the sacrifices she's made, and the determination that keeps her going. The judge glanced down at her file, reviewing her clean driving record and legal history. She wasn't one to break the rules often, and he could see she was truly remorseful. The courtroom remained silent. Everyone waited for the judge's reaction. Just as Leila finished her testimony, a small voice rang out. "Mom, can we have a hamburger later?" It was Amara, looking innocently at her mother, unaware of how serious the situation was. A few people chuckled, and Leila blushed, clearly embarrassed. Judge Sinclair raised his eyebrows. his gaze shifting from Leila to Amara, who stood next to her mother, eyes wide and curious. Instead of looking upset or annoyed at being interrupted, Judge Sinclair did something unexpected. With a slight smile, he leaned forward and spoke directly to Amara. "Did you just say hamburgers, little one?" he asked gently. His tone was surprisingly kind. Surprising Leila, she prepared herself for a scolding, or worse, an increased fine. But Judge Sinclair's response was merciful, breaking the tension in the room. Amara, encouraged by the judge's gentle tone, nodded enthusiastically and began chatting about her favorite foods, listing hamburgers and ice cream among them. Judge Sinclair listened patiently, a hint of amusement in his eyes. In a brief moment, the courtroom transformed. No longer a place where legal proceedings took place, but a space where the innocence and honesty of a little girl shined, brightening the solemn atmosphere. Leila, still confused, gently reminded Amara to be respectful, whispering that they were not to interrupt the judge. But Judge Sinclair seemed genuinely interested in hearing Amara's thoughts. He leaned back, looking thoughtfully at Leila, who was clearly touched by his unexpected sympathy. After a moment, the judge turned back to Amara and asked her, "What do you think I should do about your mother's parking ticket?" The room was once again silent. Everyone was tense, wondering what would happen next. Amara tilted her head, seriously considering the question. Finally, she responded with a simple, sincere suggestion. Maybe this time you can let my mother go." Laughter spread throughout the room, and even Judge Sinclair could not suppress his smile. After this unexpected exchange, Judge Sinclair took a moment to review Leila's case once again. He considered her clean record, the real reason behind her parking violation, and a touching exchange with her daughter. Finally, he made his decision. To Leila's surprise, he dismissed the parking fine entirely, citing her responsible record and special circumstances. The entire courtroom burst into applause, moved by the judge's surprising display of compassion. But Judge Sinclair didn't stop there. He gave Leila a sheet of paper with a list of local resources for single mothers, including childcare support services and job training programs. He told her about organizations that provide housing assistance and job training, giving her the opportunity to better care for her daughter and create a more stable future. Overwhelmed with gratitude, Leila thought about how to thank him. This moment of kindness was more than she expected. Judge Sinclair smiled gently, assuring her that no thanks were necessary. For him, true justice includes understanding and compassion, especially for those who do their best under difficult circumstances. The story doesn't stop there. News of the judge's sympathy and touching meeting with Amara spread throughout the community, capturing the hearts of people near and far. Local and social media shared the story, and Judge Sinclair's reputation changed. He was known not only for his devotion to the law, justice, and integrity, but also for his humanity and kindness. For Leila, the judge's kindness marked a turning point. She took advantage of the resources he provided, enrolling in free online courses and accessing childcare support that allowed her to focus on her career and bring more stability to Amara. The fine being dismissed was a relief, but it was the judge's empathy and the opportunities he opened up for her that truly changed her life. Judge Sinclair was also affected by this encounter. He began to see his role not only as an enforcer of justice, but also as a protector of those struggling to overcome life's difficulties. This experience reminded him that while the law is important, compassion is equally important in maintaining true justice. His exchange with Amara reawakened his empathy, inspiring him to add humanity to his judgments. This memorable day in court, which started with a simple parking mistake, turned into a story of resilience, kindness, and the power of compassion. Through a child's innocent words and a judge's unexpected empathy, the courtroom becomes a reminder of the power of human connection and the profound impact of an act of kindness.